Look, I want to get on to New South Wales passing these sweeping gun and protests laws in the wake of the Bondi terror attack. Here is the Premier a little bit earlier.
These are extraordinary measures, I acknowledge that. I know that not all Australians that live in New South Wales support these changes, but we have decided it's the best way of ensuring we do everything possible to keep the people of New South Wales safe.
Now, under the changes, registered gun owners will be restricted to 4 guns per person, although farmers and professional shooters can have up to 10. Firearms, which allow shooters to take multiple shots while reloading, will also be banned. And the reforms also restrict mass protests in the wake of a terror attack. Mia, I think it's hard to argue with these changes, and although gun reform isn't the main issue here, it is absurd that people in the suburbs of cities can own so many guns.
Yeah, sure. Look, I mean, there might be some merit to looking into some of the gun laws here, even across the country. But at the end of the day, this is a complete distraction from the real issue. And the Australian public can see right through this. In reality, all these gun laws will do, it'll make it harder for legitimate gun users like hunters and like farmers to get on with their daily business. But let's get serious. That was not what happened in Bondi. That was not the same situation. This is a government who is desperate to save face. And in doing so, they are going to focus on things like tinkering around the edges of gun laws and protest laws, so they don't have to talk about the real issue here, which is anti-Semitism, collapsing social cohesion, and the fact that we have some communities here in this country who hate Australia.
Well, I think the Premier, in fairness to him, has been pretty good. Like, we have had, obviously, the October 9 incident outside the Opera House, and he has committed to a state royal commission in the absence of the Prime Minister committing to one. But, Michael, what do you think about the protest laws aspect of this? There's been a lot of criticism on that from all the usual suspects. Like, they want to ban slogans like globalise the Intifada, and people say that's infringing on their free speech. But I find some of these protests that have been continuing after the attack just so grotesque.
Caroline, to some extent, they're band-aids to some of these measures, the slogans and the gun laws. But the Royal Commission that the Premier is holding is worthwhile in itself. But what I don't know is some of the federal government's apologists on the ABC have been arguing, able to call evidence from ASIO, from federal agencies to interrogate federal ministers, etc., because surely that's the issue. It's the mindset, it's the zeitgeist that has allowed Islamic extremism to have an important influence in Australia. That is surely the issue that's feeding this and the fear of future incidents. So I'm pleased that there's a Royal Commission. You've got a strong Premier from the old Labor tradition there, making the federal government look very weak by comparison. But the problem is, I don't know whether, and this is something I'm sure the many presenters and news people at Sky will investigate, is whether the State Royal Commission has the power to bring out all of these facts or not.